Ever watched someone claim they'd survive a zombie apocalypse by holing up in a shopping mall or hiding in the subway tunnels? Meanwhile, the real survivors are already thinking 3 steps ahead. While everyone else is making plans that'll get them killed by day 2, smart survivors know it's not about finding the coolest hideout. It's about finding a place that actually gives you a fighting chance. In this video, we're breaking down the top 5 best places in America to ride out a zombie apocalypse. These aren't Instagram-worthy locations or movie set pieces. These are real survival spots that check all the boxes: defensible, sustainable, and actually livable. Same rules apply. We're dealing with classic slow walker zombies. You're not suddenly Rambo, and you need to think long-term survival, not just a weekend camping trip. So let's dive into the places where preparation meets practicality and where your survival plan might actually work. Number 5. Great Lakes Islands, Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota. Picture this. You're surrounded by fresh water as far as the eye can see. Zombies can't swim, and you've got enough space to actually build a sustainable life. Welcome to the Great Lakes Islands, nature's zombie-proof fortresses. First, the obvious advantage: water barriers. Zombies might stumble around on land, but they're not exactly Olympic swimmers. Islands like Isle Royale in Lake Superior or Beaver Island in Lake Michigan give you natural moats that would make medieval castles jealous. Unless zombies suddenly develop boat-building skills, you're dealing with a problem that solves itself. But here's where it gets smart. Fresh water, lots of it. While other survivors are fighting over bottled water and dying from dehydration, you're sitting on the largest freshwater system in the world. No need to ration, no need to boil swamp water. Just pure, drinkable Great Lakes water. Food sources? These islands aren't barren rocks. Many have established ecosystems with deer, rabbits, and fish populations. Plus, the soil on many of these islands can support gardens and small-scale farming. You're not just surviving, you're building something sustainable. The climate is challenging but manageable. Cold winters mean you need to plan ahead, but it also means any zombies that do somehow make it across will literally freeze solid. Natural refrigeration and zombie control in one package. And here's the kicker. Many of these islands already have existing infrastructure: abandoned lighthouses, old fishing camps, even some with seasonal residents who've already figured out the logistics of island living. You're not starting from scratch. You're upgrading an existing survival template. The only real downside? Getting there requires some planning and potentially a boat. But if you can make it to one of these islands with basic supplies, you've just upgraded from survival mode to rebuilding civilization mode. Number 4. Rural Montana farmsteads. Montana isn't called Big Sky Country for nothing. When you can see for miles in every direction, zombie hordes don't exactly sneak up on you. But Montana farmsteads offer something most survival locations don't. They're already designed for self-sufficiency. Let's talk visibility and defensibility. Montana's rolling plains and vast fields mean you'll spot trouble coming from literally miles away. No blind corners, no surprise attacks, no zombies popping out from behind buildings. You've got time to prepare, time to plan, and time to act. That early warning system could be the difference between life and becoming lunch. These farmsteads come pre-equipped for survival. We're talking established wells, grain silos, livestock facilities, and farmhouses built to withstand harsh winters. The previous owners already solved the hard problems: water access, food storage, shelter from the elements. You're inheriting a survival infrastructure that took generations to build. Food production is already figured out. Fields for growing crops, pastures for livestock, equipment for farming. It's a complete ecosystem. While city survivors are fighting over the last can of beans, you're planning next season's harvest. Wheat, corn, cattle, chickens, you've got protein and carbohydrates covered for the long haul. The population density works in your favor. Rural Montana means fewer people, which means fewer zombies. You're not dealing with millions of potential infected. You're dealing with manageable numbers spread across vast distances. The zombie-to-space ratio is about as good as it gets. Weather is your ally here too. Montana winters are brutal for the unprepared, but devastating for zombies. Frozen corpses don't exactly maintain motor function. Every winter essentially hits the reset button on any zombie problems. The only challenges? You need to know something about farming or be willing to learn fast. And the isolation that makes Montana great for zombie survival also means you're on your own for everything. But if you can handle the responsibility, Montana farmsteads offer something rare. A place where you can not just survive, but actually thrive. Number 3. Abandoned military installations, various locations. Ever wondered what happens to military bases when the military leaves? They become ready-made survival compounds, complete with everything you need to outlast a zombie apocalypse. We're talking about locations specifically designed to withstand attacks, house large numbers of people, and maintain operations under siege conditions. The defensive advantages are obvious. These installations were built with security as the primary concern. Perimeter walls, controlled access points, elevated guard positions. It's like someone designed them with zombie hordes in mind. Many have multiple layers of defense, so even if the outer perimeter is breached, you've got fallback positions. Infrastructure is the real game changer. We're talking about locations with their own power generation, water treatment facilities, communication systems, and medical facilities. While other survivors are figuring out how to charge a phone, you've got a mini-city's worth of utilities at your disposal. Many of these installations were designed to be self-sufficient during extended operations. Storage and supplies are built into the design. Massive warehouses, underground storage areas, equipment depots. There's space for everything you need and room to grow. These places were designed to house hundreds or thousands of people with months of supplies. Scale that down to a smaller group, and you're talking about years of provisions. The buildings themselves are built to last. Military construction standards mean reinforced concrete, blast-resistant structures, and facilities designed to operate in hostile conditions. Your average zombie isn't getting through walls designed to withstand actual military attacks. Location matters here. Many abandoned military installations are in remote areas, away from major population centers. This gives you the population density advantages of rural locations with the infrastructure advantages of major facilities. The challenges? These places require maintenance and technical knowledge to keep running. Power generators need fuel and service. Water systems need monitoring, and communication equipment needs expertise. You're not just moving in, you're becoming the facility manager for a military installation. But if you can handle the technical requirements, abandoned military installations offer something unique. Fortress-level security with city-level amenities, all in locations chosen for their strategic advantages. Number 2. Alaska's remote homesteads. Alaska represents the ultimate in self-reliant living, and when the zombie apocalypse hits, that self-reliance becomes your greatest asset. We're talking about locations so remote that getting there requires planning, but once you're established, you're essentially off the grid and off the zombie radar. The distance factor is huge. Many Alaskan homesteads are hundreds of miles from the nearest major population center. Even if every single person in Anchorage or Fairbanks turns into a zombie, they'd have to walk across some of the most hostile terrain in North America to reach you. Most won't make it past the first winter. Self-sufficiency is already built into the lifestyle. Alaskan homesteaders already know how to generate their own power, source their own water, grow food in challenging conditions, and maintain equipment in isolation. These aren't skills you need to learn during the apocalypse. They're already mastered and proven. The environment works as your security system. Alaska's wilderness is beautiful, but unforgiving. Extreme cold, dangerous wildlife, difficult terrain. These aren't just obstacles for you, they're deal breakers for zombies. A frozen zombie is a dead zombie, and Alaska provides months of natural zombie control every year. Hunting and fishing opportunities are world-class. Alaska's wildlife populations can sustain you indefinitely if you know what you're doing. Salmon runs, moose, caribou, deer. You're looking at protein sources that most survival situations can only dream about. The land itself becomes your grocery store. The community aspect is crucial. Alaskan homesteaders already understand mutual aid and community cooperation. These are people who help neighbors fix equipment, share resources during tough times, and work together on big projects. That social infrastructure becomes invaluable during an apocalypse. The challenges are real, though. Alaska doesn't forgive mistakes. The weather can kill you, the wildlife can kill you, and simple accidents become life-threatening when the nearest hospital is a plane ride away. You need legitimate wilderness skills, not just survival enthusiasm. But for those who can handle the demands, Alaska offers something no other location can. True independence. You're not just surviving the zombie apocalypse, you're living beyond the reach of most problems that affect the rest of the world. Number 1. Midwest farm communities. Iowa, Nebraska, Kansas. Here's the truth nobody talks about. The best zombie survival location isn't some dramatic fortress or remote wilderness outpost. It's a boring, practical, well-established farming community in America's heartland. Places that have been feeding the country for generations and know how to keep the lights on when everything else falls apart. Let's start with the foundation. Food security. These communities already produce more food than they consume. We're talking about places with grain elevators full of wheat and corn, cattle ranches with established herds, and farmers who know how to turn seeds into sustenance. While coastal cities are fighting over the last box of cereal, you're planning next year's crop rotation. The infrastructure is proven and maintainable. Small-town America runs on systems that locals actually understand and can fix. The guy who runs the power company lives down the street. The water treatment facility manager coaches your kids' baseball team. When something breaks, there's someone nearby who knows how to fix it with available parts and local resources. Population density is the sweet spot. Not so remote that you're isolated, but not so crowded that you're dealing with urban-scale zombie hordes. A town of 2,000 to 5,000 people gives you enough human resources to maintain civilization, but few enough potential zombies to handle if things go wrong. Community cooperation is already established. These places run on mutual aid and shared responsibility. Barn raisings, volunteer fire departments, community harvests. The social infrastructure for group survival already exists. You're not trying to convince strangers to work together. You're joining communities that already know how. Geographic advantages are built in. The Midwest's flat terrain means excellent visibility and no surprise attacks. Rivers provide natural barriers and water sources. The climate is challenging enough to slow zombies, but manageable enough for sustainable living. Weather patterns are predictable. Seasons are reliable. Equipment and resources are abundant. Farm equipment, fuel storage, mechanical knowledge, livestock management, all the tools for long-term sustainability are already in place. Tractors, combines, grain dryers, livestock facilities. It's like a survival equipment catalog, but it's all already there and operational. The biggest advantage? These communities have been tested. They've survived economic downturns, natural disasters, and social changes. They know how to adapt, how to maintain essential services, and how to keep life going when outside systems fail. The only real downside is perception. Midwest farm communities aren't dramatic or exotic. They don't look like movie survival locations, but that's exactly why they work. They're not built for drama. They're built for durability. When you really think about it, the best zombie survival locations aren't the ones that look good in movies. They're the ones that actually work day after day, year after year. They're places where people already know how to maintain civilization when the rest of the world stops working. The Great Lakes Islands give you natural barriers and fresh water. Montana farmsteads provide space and early warning. Military installations offer security and infrastructure. Alaska delivers true independence. But Midwest farm communities? They offer something none of the others can: proven sustainability with human community. That's the real lesson here. Zombie survival isn't about finding the most isolated spot or the most heavily fortified location. It's about finding places where people already know how to keep life going when normal stops working. It's about choosing sustainability over drama, community over isolation, and proven systems over untested theories.